This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Italdesign is one of the most famous independent design studios in the automotive industry. Founded by the legendary Giorgetto Giugiaro, it created breakthrough designs for Volkswagen, Alfa Romeo, De Tomaso, BMW, Ferrari, Lamborghini, American Motors, Fiat, Hyundai, and a bunch of others. Giugiaro was also selected as the designer of the century, meaning the 20th century, back in 1999. Audi was so enthralled with Italdesign that it bought the company in 2010. But now it's selling it to a technology consulting company in California called UST. Lamborghini, which is also part of Audi, will still own part of Italdesign. Here's our Autoline insight. This is just the first step of more to come. Audi and its parent company Volkswagen are going to have to start selling off other assets to raise money and to cut cost. There's a big battle brewing in Europe over plans on the books to ban the internal combustion engine in new cars starting in 2035. Most automakers are dead set against the plan, and it looks like the EU is going to push that back to 2040 as long as automakers fill in the gap with hybrids, extended range EVs, fuel cells, and e-fuels. Europe's goal was to have electric cars account for 25% of all sales right now, but they're only at 16%. And regulators are kind of bowing to reality. Hot on the heels of that announcement, Volkswagen is talking about adding EREVs to its lineup in the US and Europe. We already knew that Scout was pivoting from pure EV to EREV, but it sounds like VW is thinking about offering EREVs across its lineup because they eliminate range and charging time anxiety. EREVs are popular in China, but there's still questions whether American and European car buyers will go for them. Some Chinese automakers have a huge head start when it comes to EREVs. BYD, Geely, and Dongfeng have developed EREV engines that have the highest thermodynamic efficiency in the world. In fact, Dongfeng just set a new record, hitting over 48% efficiency at converting gasoline into power. Toyota used to have the record with the Prius engine at 41%. Dongfeng's engine is a 1.5-liter variable vane turbo 4 with a 15.5 to 1 compression ratio and a fuel injection system that runs at 500 bar. That's 7,251 psi, which is more than twice as much as most gasoline engines. It also uses electronic variable valve timing and a valve seat-free design. Other details include an electric oil pump and thermal spray coating of the cylinder bores. You know, do you remember when we all thought the Chinese would never catch up to everyone else in combustion technology? Yeah, I remember too.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless Neovi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Neovi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Good news for Ford. China just issued licenses to the automaker's suppliers to get shipments of rare earth magnets. Ford had to halt production at several plants earlier this year after China restricted shipments as part of the trade war with the U.S. Companies had to apply for licenses for every shipment, which created shortages. And so China and the US recently agreed to streamline the process. Even so, not all automakers have been as lucky as Ford. Germany's foreign minister says its automakers are still waiting for approval. Hot stamped, high-strength steel is used in all kinds of structural applications for the body in white, like the A and B pillars, door rings, cross beams, and the front shotguns. They call it hot stamped steel because the steel is so hard it has to be heated up until it's red hot before it's soft enough to be stamped. The harder you can make steel, the thinner the gauge you can use, and that saves weight. And this is yet another area where China is taking the lead. While most of the steel used in the US, Europe, and elsewhere is rated at less than 2,000 MPa or megapascals, the Xiaomi U7 is rated at 2,200 MPa, and Chery says it's going to start using high-strength steel with 2,500 megapascals. And so we can add high-strength steel to the list of technologies where China is leaving the rest of the industry behind. Tesla's latest full self-driving system is mighty impressive, but it's an $8,000 option. Nissan wants to come out with a similar system that only costs $4,000. It's expanding a partnership with the British startup Wave, which is a company that develops AI systems for autonomous vehicles. They've already developed a prototype and just signed a deal to integrate Wave's software into Nissan's next-gen Pro Pilot Driver Assist. It'll debut in Japan in the 2027 fiscal year, but Nissan didn't say which model it will be on. Nissan also plans to offer it in North America. The technology will support both ADAS and point-to-point driving and will be offered in a broad range of Nissan's lineup. JLR has come up with a clever way to significantly reduce CO2 emissions. The automaker re-engineered the instrument panel crossbar beam for future vehicles using fiber-reinforced plastic and steel. The crossbeam is located behind the dashboard of a vehicle and it plays a key role in safety, protecting passengers and mounting airbags and reducing noise and vibration. Traditional crossbeams are made from aluminum, magnesium, or steel, and by eliminating magnesium, which is highly carbon intensive to produce, JLR says the new structure can save 50,000 metric tons of CO2 every year. Hey, before we go, be sure to tune into Autoline After Hours when it goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time this afternoon. We're going to look at how legacy automakers got the whole EV thing so wrong. We'll have Patrick Anderson from the Anderson Economic Group and Jackie Charnaga from the Detroit Free Press on the show, so join me and Gary when the show gets going. And that wraps up today's report. We'll be right back here again tomorrow, bringing you the latest developments in the automotive industry.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. CSP, the Composites Solution Partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.
Knowing that a little rain won't slow down your day, that's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza Quiet Track tires, confident control in wet conditions.